I recently got married, but my mother-in-law thinks I'm not clean enough for her son. We had to stay with her while I transitioned jobs to be closer to our new place. The apartment wasn't going to be ready for a few weeks due to cleaning and repairs, and she of course told us it was no problem. But from the moment we moved in, everything was a problem. I woke up too late, didn't do the dishes in a timely enough manner, even though I did wash them. She insisted I should learn to cook from scratch, and threw away all my microwaved meals, and filled the kitchen with raw foods that had to be chopped and cooked, even though she didn't have them in her fridge when I got there. I couldn't make the bed, didn't know how to scrub floors, or clean a bathroom to her standards. When the apartment was ready, I told her we'd be moving out by the end of the week. Her face went from smug delight of having ruled over my life for the last 3 weeks to seething rage. She just smiled and said through her teeth, "Are you sure it's the right place for you? It seems kinda small." My husband and I both assured her the size was fine for just the two of us. She then went on and on about how she was concerned for her son, because I didn't know how to cook a decent meal, and she didn't want him starving. Again, we assured her he wouldn't miss a meal. "I know you never miss a meal, it's the quality of the meal I'm worried about," she said. I started packing my things that night and lived out of my suitcase, eating out and coming home late, only when it was absolutely necessary. On the last night, I came home especially late and was surprised to find my mother-in-law still up and waiting for me in the dining room kitchen table. "Where were you?" Her voice said in the dark, like some creepy serial killer. I switched on the lights and flinched as she was sitting at the table, glaring at me, a cup of warm milk that had gone cold resting in her hand. "I worked a double shift. Didn't I tell you?" I didn't tell her on purpose. My son didn't have anything to eat. I had to cook him a meal. We had leftovers. Leftovers. Leftovers, she screamed. Leftovers are for poor people who can't afford good food. My boy doesn't eat leftovers. He's been eating them since we met. I said, "This is what I'm talking about. You can't clean, you can't feed him. He's gonna die in your care." She raged, making me take a step back. My husband stirred from the noise and called out, "Mom, is that you?" Suddenly her voice fixated to something sweet and she called back, "I'm in the kitchen, fixing my favorite daughter-in-law something to eat." She turned back to me, her eyes sharp as daggers. "You hungry?" she asked. "Actually, I grabbed something on the way," I said. "Trash," she said, opening the fridge and taking out her freshly baked casserole cooling on the top shelf. She snatched a plate from the cabinet and began scooping helpings onto the plate as though she were stabbing it. I watched in frozen disbelief as she slapped it into the microwave and then slammed it down on the table. "I don't send my family to bed hungry. Now eat your vegetables." I don't know why, but I sat down and quietly ate the food, even though I was already stuffed, so full I could barely pack it in. Yet somehow I did. It didn't help that she stood inches behind me and watched me eat the whole thing. "Good girl," she said, taking the plate and washing it. "This is how you wash your plates," she said, making me watch her scrub the plate 3 times. That Saturday I couldn't get our things on the moving truck fast enough. I drove on ahead to the new place, moving in a few items I was able to fit into my car. My husband got up early to get our furniture out of the storage unit with our friends and take it to the new apartment. I was breathing a sigh of relief. Then, I saw her step into the door directing a group of movers where to position our furniture. My husband moving our stuff in right along with them. "What are you doing?" "I thought we were having our friends come over to help." She paid for movers and sent our friends home. He